So we started OData service. All right. OData. OData service. So we discussed what is OData. OData is Open Data Protocol, right? Developed by OSS, later acquired by Microsoft, and which is used to build the APIs, which is used to simply expose the data of ERP system over the internet. So what are the properties of OData services? Let's see that. Properties of OData service. So now we know what is OData. OData acts as a backend for Fiori application. So OData acts as a backend for the front end, or you can say Fiori applications developed by Fiori developers. And OData services are mainly executed under the SAP NetWeaver. Under the SAP NetWeaver gateway component. With database operation like database operations like let's say select, insert, update and delete operation. These kind of operations which we usually perform using our OData service on our database. Okay, then what we see is SAP NetWeaver gateway. SAP NetWeaver gateway supports mainly two formats. First one is your XML format. So XML format. Then the second one is JSON format. So JSON format. Okay. Do you know this XML and JSON? XML, any idea?
It's the extended markup language.
Sensible markup language, not extendable.
Yes.
It is used to display the data. So it is a way used to display or let's say transfer the data from one application to another. These two languages are mainly the medium of communication between multiple applications. So here JSON format is also there. JSON is highly preferred. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object Notation. This is the full form of JSON. And what we see is it is lightweight format. So it is a lightweight format. It is a lightweight format and is highly used for combining or for displaying the data over the browser. So this OData service mainly supports only these two formats, XML and JSON. Then what we see in case of OData services, OData are reusable. So OData services are reusable in nature. Okay. And OData services will be developed. OData services will be developed under the SEGW transaction code. So this is the important transaction code which we use for developing our OData service, which is developed under ACGW transaction code, and it is maintained under the is IWFND underscore service underscore maint transaction code. This is a transaction code which is used to maintain the OData service, IWFND service maintenance. I hope it is not incorrect. Let me check. I'll open my SAP system. Let's paste it here. Not this one. IDEV service maint. Okay, I'm doing some mistake. Service maintenance. It is slash IWFND. Okay, I did the mistake. Slash IWFND slash maint underscore service. Okay, that's perfect. So slash IWFND slash maint underscore service. IWFND slash and IWFND maint underscore service. That is not going there. This user no longer logged on. What is happening here? Okay, let me log out. Then I'll do the re-login. I had maintenance here. Yeah. This is your activate and maintenance service. This is what you usually see whenever you will go slash IWFND main service transaction code. I don't know why it's not working. FND main service. Okay, let's try it again. Slash N. It's working. Yeah. So activate and maintain service. These are all the services which are already there, which we can use for testing and all those features. So if I will see, there should be one service developed by me. I'll go for filter. Let's check. External service name ZAR. Okay, let's see. All right, OData Fury service. I'm going to use this one. Let's me show you call browser, login, and okay. So this is how we can expose our data to the SAP system, and you can see here this is XML format, and we can change it to JSON format. JSON. Yeah. See, at this moment it is empty. That is why we are getting this output. So OData service are really crucial in nature. Now we will see what are the various properties of OData services. Okay, so features or proper features of OData service. Heading features of OData service. OData service. Features of OData service. Now, whenever we will develop any OData service, so let's go to SAGW and build our first OData project. So I'll go to SAGW. This is my OData service gateway builder. Go for create button and create OData project. So I'll create my first OData project. I will pass the description. First OData service. And I will pass here a package. So package and go for OK button. So this is my service here, and you can see for every OData service these 4 folders are always there. So first I will save it. Yeah, pass the request. I have saved it. So 4 folders are always there. So every OData service always have the 4 folders always have the 4 folders. Okay, every OData service has always have the 4 folders. First one is your data model, then you have service implementation, then you have the runtime artifacts, so runtime artifacts, and then you have the service maintenance. So these 4 folders and features are always there for every OData service. So if you check your first one, data model, you will see that it has got entity type, association, entity sets, lots of things are there. So let's start with data model part. Data model consists of entity type. So entity type is similar to entity type is similar to structure in ABAP. So what is the use of structure? Structure is just a data type, right? Complex data type, which is used to create the internal table and work area. So whenever we are talking about entity type in OData service, it is simply a structure. Using that, we will create the entity and entity sets, right? So same thing is there. It is just a local structure. Then second thing we talk about is entity. So entity is an option, or it is used to hold a single record. It is used to hold a single record, and it is similar to work area in ABAP, which can hold only single record, right? This is what work area is all about. It can hold at max 1 record at a time. Then the third one is entity set. So entity set is there. So entity set, see, at this moment there is nothing. Will have to create everything here for our OData project. So entity set, what is entity set? It is like an internal table, in ABAP programming, and it is used to store the uh, maximum or restore more than one records. Okay, it is used to store more than one record. So this is what entity set is all about. Then we have service implementation folder. So service implementation, let's discuss that part. Service implementation, so it contains the CRUD methods. What is CRUD, guys? Any idea?
These are the operations for create, read, update, and delete on the database or tables in this case.
Create. So this is the only thing that is happening on any application. Create, read, update, and delete. This is the only operation is all about. Same thing, this service implementation folder is responsible for CRUD method. So create, read, update, and delete. Create, read, update, and delete. Then we have runtime artifacts. So it contains the runtime generated classes by SAP. So whenever we will go for generate button, this runtime artifacts, at this moment you can see here there is nothing, but whenever we will go for this generate button, runtime classes will be generated. So it will contain the DPC and MPC extension, MPC classes. DPC is for data provider class, which contains the logic. So logic is written data provider class, and MPC is model provider class. So model provider class, okay, model provider class. This will contain DPC and then we will have MPC. So mostly these two things are always there in runtime classes. DPC is data provider class where we write the logic part. MPC is for model provider where the definition part is there. For example, declaration of a structure, variable declaration, and all those things. And at last we have this service maintenance. This contains the local testing, local testing of OData service, services in SAP. This contains the local testing of OData services in SAP. It also contains the error log. So it contains the error log for error handling. Also contains the error log for error handling. Okay, so these are the most features of our OData service that we see, right? This is the feature of our OData service that we see. Now if you want to develop a OData service, there are lots of ways. So how we will develop our OData service, let's discuss that part, and then we will do the testing of it also. So how to develop the OData service. How to develop the OData service. Now, OData services can be developed in two ways. First one is using BAPI. Either we are directly going to use the BAPI or let's say RFC, remote function call function module. And the second one is without BAPI. That is manually we are writing our logic. So OData services, BAPI, either using BAPI or using RFC. Okay. So what I will do is I'm simply going to implement this OData service for my employee table. So this is my employee table. I will use this employee table here. I'm going to use this employee table for developing this OData service, right? And what I will do here is for this particular table, I will implement the operations of OData service. So first I will create the structure. Structure will be created into entity type. Now, so right click on data model, go for import and go for DDIC structure. And here you need to pass your entity type name. So I will pass here, let's say employee. So employee, I will pass it. And in the structure, I will pass my table name. So copy the table name and paste it here. Now I will allow default entity set creation and I will go for next button. Select the columns that you want. So I will select the column except MANDT. I will select all the columns and I will go for next. Mark the primary key and go for finish. See here, entity type has been imported and you will see by default this entity set has been created. So entity type and entity set has been created. Now what we will do is we will simply go for generate button and we will generate our runtime artifacts. So go for generate. See here, By default, model provider class, data provider class, and for service registration, these folders are there. Go for OK. Pass the package and transport request. Pass the package and transport request. By default, it will generate the runtime artifacts, right? Runtime artifacts has been generated. You can see it here. Runtime artifacts has been generated, and now if you will open this runtime artifacts, you will find out that lots of classes has been generated by SAP system, and all of them are G classes, Z classes, so they all are custom classes. So here if you focus out, you will find DPC extension, MPC and MPC extension. So DPC is data provider class where logic has been written, so some standard logic is automatically there. And if you want to write custom logic, you will always use this extension class. They are specially designed for writing custom logic by the developer. If you want to create a custom structure or definition, you will go for this MPC extension class because this is for the same purpose, right? And if you will check this service implementation, you will find out that all the CRUD methods are there. Go and check the service implementation folder. So you see here, create, delete, get entity, set, update, and all those things. So it contains only the CRUD method, right? Now for this employee table, I will go for my DPC extension class. So this is my DPC extension class. Here I will go and I will simply write the logic. Here I will go and I will simply write the logic. Okay, so go inside the DPC extension. Now I'll go for methods, inherited methods, and here I will check my DPC extension method. So get entity set, yeah, right click and redefine. So redefine it. Once it has been redefined, now we will write the logic here. So and remove this logic part which is already there, and here we will write our own logic. So this is my get entity set. This is my get entity set method. It will return us the entire records. So select my employee ID, employee name, department, manager, salary, currency from my employee table. Okay, from my employee tab into table. What is my output parameter here? So this is my ET entity set. So just copy it, pass it. This is my output parameter, and I will go for activate. So activate it. Okay, there is some problem. It is telling me the data type of the component manager of ET entity set is not compatible. Okay, so instead of that, into corresponding fields of table. All right, let's check now. Because we are using MA and DT, so this is causing the problem. Let's activate it. Now it is fine. Yeah, it is fine. So here we have implemented the logic, right? Here we have implemented the logic. So if you check, now let's go and test our OData service. So I'll go back, go back, go back, and here I'll go for my service maintenance folder. Go for this maintenance. Either we can do the registration from here, or we can do the registration from this activate and maintain service also. We can also do the registration directly from here. Just go for add service and pass the system alias. So pass the system alias from here, local and external service name. So what is our OData service name? Runtime artifacts. So where is my service? This is my OData service name. Just copy it and paste it here and press enter. See, it is coming. Select it and go for add selected services and click on OK button. So by default here it will be added, or you can directly go for adding directly from your OData section also. Just need to click on this here register and it will be done. Registration will be done directly here. So OK button. Okay. Yeah, see, service was created and its metadata was loaded successfully. So I'll go for OK. Now since the registration is done, I'll go for testing part. So here, let's go for gateway client. I'll go back to ACGW again, refresh it. First OData service. Where is my OData service? First OData. Yeah, this one. And this is the same thing we developed it, right? Alan Mukul. Okay,
Yeah.
let's. Alright, let me go and check the DPC classes, then it will be more clear. DPC extension. I'll copy it and I'll go to AC24 and check this class. Display. AC80. Methods redefinition. Yeah, this is the only thing we have just implemented our entity set. Perfect. So I will go for its service maintenance and I will test SAP Gateway Client. So this Gateway Client is the local place where you can test your OData service. Go for execute button. And see here, we are getting this green status. So it simply means the registration has been done. Now we will check the data. So I want to check my data. So I will simply go for entity set and I will select my entity set that I have created and go for execute button. So it is again returning me 200. So this is returning me 200, right? Now if I'll go and check, it is returning all the results. See all the results from my employee table one by one. So this is your XML format. Now if you want to see the JSON format, so go for URI option and select the JSON and execute it. So this will become the JSON format. So I will simply copy this link and I will search it from normal browser so that you can understand how this is exposing data from SAP. So normal browser, and here I will go for let's go from this main part. Yeah, filter service. Yes, filter it out. Where is the auditor service? Activate and maintain filter. Okay, I will have to go back and check the service. This is my service name, first OData project service, and paste it here. I find it. I will go for call browser. Yeah, this one. Let's copy Amrit01, my password. I'll copy this link and I will go normally on Chrome. So here I will check. So I just need to change this URL a little bit. I will go for back to my gateway client. This is my gateway client and I will just replace this URI with the so from ASAP. Okay, replace it and press enter. No, not this one. What is going on? HTTP JSON. Yeah, now it is asking. So credential and password. Can you see from where it is bringing the records? Table 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11. Just go and check your table. Just go and check your table. How many records do you have in the table? See, is this the same thing? 111 Aniketaman. Department is innovation. Manager is Amrit Raj. See, 200. Currency is INR. right? So this is directly bringing the data from your SAP system. Now, if you want to debug it, that how it is working, just put the debugger. But since you are calling it from external system, we will need a external debugger here. Put external debugger, this external debugger. Now just go and refresh it. So just recall it, press enter, and just see in the backend debugger will open. See, we are in debugging mode, right? So this et entity set is the output parameter for this get entity set method. Now once this F6 will execute, you can see this et entity set is getting 9 rows. 9 rows. See, 9 records. It is getting the 9 records. And this is the same 9 records that you are receiving on the output screen also. Is it clear?
Yes.
Right? So similarly, we can implement all these methods. This is just my get entity set. If you want to create a new records, you can go for create entity. If you want to delete one record, you can go for delete entity. If you want to just go for single record, get entity, update entity. Similarly, all these things are. This OData service is provides lots and lots of features. Okay. So whenever you have time, just go through it and try to create an OData service. You will definitely learn lots of things. Okay, right?
Yes.
So just one question.
Yeah.
So this, you are accessing the link from the local or the browser,
Yeah, from the
which also
browser.
has SAP, which also has the same, I mean, SAP
No, no, no,
client.
no, no, no. See what is it is doing. Let me just explain it. So if you want to call it, first thing is SAP system should be installed on your local PC. Okay. So here you can see this link, right? You can see this link. This link is of my local system. My local system. Let me just show you. So what is the transaction code? SMICM. Yeah. Go to services. Yeah. This is my 8023 HTTP port. Can you see the host name? Right. So just copy this host name. Host name. Here I'll go for HTTP. HTTP. And paste your host name, right? And after that we need the HTTP protocol. So what is the service pro port here? 8023, right? And it is running. So I will check this 8023 colon 8023. Press enter. Can you see? If you are getting this SAP logo, it simply means this is able to find out your system. This 404 not found is something else, but this logo will only come if this URL is able to find out a SAP system on your local device, right?
So am I able to access this anywhere on the internet? Is there a
Uh,
possibility?
if SAP system is on your local PC, a little bit more configuration is required, which basis team usually explains how to do that. For this one, we need to pass the path. We need to pass the path directly in our local system. Then you are able to access it. So you can access it from any system, right? That is not a big deal. But that, see what it is doing is you are searching it, right? And you are searching for this port. So internally it will check whether your device is able to connect with this port or not. So we need to pass a path in your system or configuration of this laptop. Then you will be able to access it. So that is why OData, what OData is saying, you can directly test it locally here from SAP Gateway client, right? Just you can need to go is just go to this one service maintenance and go for gateway client. You can directly go and check. Or if you are in IWFND maintenance service, you can also call this gateway client from here directly. Or if you want, you can test from the browser also. That's what I'm doing here. I'm getting all the records in form of JSON. If I'll change this to XML, it will show me XML records, same records in XML format.
Okay.
This is all about, this is the code development part. As a ABAPer, what we will be expected to do is we will create our OData service. We will develop our OData service. We will test it locally here from where it is, gateway client. Yeah, we will test it from gateway client, and then we are simply going to hand it to our Fiori developers. They are going to consume it in the Fiori application. Okay. Is it clear now? Perfect. So very important concept, OData. It is a deep ocean. If you will directly go for separate OData training, it is of more than 40-50 hours. Lots of concepts are there here. Okay. Lots of concepts are there.